Good morning, it's Michael here from Michael's Card Art. Yesterday I posted an approach to colouring vellum or embossed vellum, and it was really just to show you a technique of working with vellum. Anyway, I woke up this morning and happened to glance over to see if it had been well received, and I got a number of comments asking me, well, what are we going to do with this piece of vellum that you've now painted and coloured up? We're expecting to see some sort of card from it. And I thought, oh, right, so we're still not done then. The crowd is baying for a card. So here we are. It's Thursday morning. I've got the day off, which is fantastic. And what we're going to do is turn this piece of vellum, embossed and coloured, into a card. Now, yesterday, and I'm really on the hop here, I'm still in my dressing gown, but what I thought was, I said yesterday I thought this was like a magnolia, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this magnolia mood set from Stampin' Up, and I have to say this is probably one of those stamp and die sets that you should hang on to, because the artwork and the finish of this stamp is truly magnificent. And whether you decide to colour it with blends, watercolour pencils, or just stamp it and leave it, you could even stamp it and re-stamp it in parts with Versamark so that you've got a gold. Oh, not such a bad idea, actually. Might even consider that ourselves, because if I look at this piece of vellum, depending on, and I was thinking what I would do is I'd work this piece into a beige cardstock, and I really do like the beige underneath this. And if I was to stamp this and put a slight hint of Versamark onto it, it would work very well with this. Okay, now the mind's going. You've got me you've got me out of bed, and now I'm making a card at the wee small hours of, what is it, 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. Albeit I am a little bit excited about this one. Okay, so I'm going to grab my Stamper Artist, if I can. Yes, Kiki, you've come to see what's going on, have you? I don't know if I can get my, do you want to have a little look? No, because, no, it's okay. We'll bring the dogs in, the chihuahuas, to the party another time. So what I'm going to do, let's just talk about the background again. So I did have a look and see, and try and find various backgrounds that this might work with. Let me show you some of the ideas that I talked about or thought about. If you've got a piece of Versamark and with similar colours, I thought something like that would give it a really striking finish. I like that there's a little bit of a pattern in the background. But then I came across this piece of designer series paper, and I thought, well, it might work very well with that. And and then I went back to my original idea of the beige, and I think that is just perfect. That just finishes it off nicely. It has a nice glow to it. So I'm going to go with a piece of a beige cardstock. Now, rather than the beige, I've actually grabbed out a piece of Very Vanilla. Now, Very Vanilla, to my eye, is it is a yellowy vanilla. A yellowy white. It's not white, it is a yellowy white. And here's a piece of beige, just to give you a bit of a comparison. So that's the difference. And I'll just grab a piece of white cardstock. And here we go here. Oh, here's a piece that's just, don't worry about these little blotches on it. So there's beige, Very Vanilla, and there's white. So I'm going to go with the Very Vanilla. I've not used that colour before. I brought it and it's been sitting there for some time. So I've just got a sticky mat here, and I'll grab, now I don't know whether I'm going to stamp directly onto the very vanilla. So this is my thinking. I'm going to have a card that will be like this. I will diagonally create a split, and on one side I'll have the vellum on display, and on the other half, I think it'll be on an angle, the other half, what I'll do is I'll stamp one or two of these images, because they really do come up a treat. Stamp one or two of these so that the let's just stamp one and see how we go, and take that right to the edge. Now if we don't like the that finished product, we can always cut it and then put it onto the cut accordingly. Now what I've got here is a piece of sticky mat. So I'm not using the magnets, I'm just using this sticky mat here that I got online, and I find that is brilliant. It holds it nicely. I don't need to worry about those magnets that keep slamming together and splintering, and I have had my fingers caught between those little things. Not pleasant. Now I'm just going to use a early espresso to stamp this, because the vellum has come up with a bit of a retro look about it. So let's get some Versamark, let's get some early espresso onto this, and let's get that into place, and let's see what that looks like. And so the oh look, that's just a beautiful, beautiful finish. I really, really like that. And as I said, this stamp set is one of the ones that I will always consider keeping. Now, I'm going to keep everything in situ, because what I want to do is colour it. I'll then re-stamp it with the early espresso, because some of the lines will have been, the intensity of them would have been reduced by the colouring, and then I will re-stamp it, and then I'll stamp it with a little bit of Versamark in certain areas, and then I'll gold emboss. So I think that's our plan so far. So let's get some colouring underway. And will I use watercolour pencils, or no, I'm going to go with blends. So the two colours I'm going to use, they're pink tones. Rococo Rose, it's the light one, and Pretty in Pink, that's the lighter of the two pinks. And I'll use the Rococo Rose to do the highlights. So I'm going to lay the highlights down over here on this piece first. Oh, you'll notice I've got this down on the sticky mat, it won't move. So just putting these highlights in now. And I was deliberating whether to use the watercolor pencils. Let's just get that leaf done first. And all I'm doing is trying to just create an environment where the lighter and the darker color comes together, and the two colors, both being wet, will start to merge, giving us that nice blend. That's okay. I think I can. Yes, it's a good combination. And so my thinking is this: I'll do half the card with this image, and then using a border stamp, I'll diagonally come over and have this sitting on this side. So that's okay. And now just finish off with the, so when you're blending, you just take your time and you'll lay down the first color, and then the second color ideally will go over all that real estate where you've laid the first color down, and like so, and then you'll start to see the colors mix and blend. Let's just continue. Okay, we'll start here. So just laying down that first darker color, the Rococo Rose, and then the lighter of the two coming over the top. Now, we may find that these two colors are too close, and we may not get that the delineation of color happening too well. But anyway, let's just persevere. And it's only when you've got the whole card colored that you can really sit back and go, yes, that works, or no, it doesn't. Okay, I have a couple of ants invading my space. I don't know what they're after. Okay. There we go. And once we get the green down for the leaves, I think that's when we'll start to see all that fruits of our labour. Now, I think that's come up quite nicely. I'm now going to just use the do the leaves. Oh, and the leaves, I'm going to use mossy meadow, dark mossy meadow, and a light alder olive to give us some contrast there. So laying down the green, so I just go over the outer right up to the very edge and just get some veins in like so, just being mindful to keep that white line there to keep it uncolored. Some more veins in here, and there we go. And there, coming in with the old olive, and there we go. All right, so that's the first one. I like giving our elements that showing on our elements, sorry, where that light is hitting. It just gives it a more natural finish. Now, in here, I think it's probably easier if you do the veins first, and then come in with the lighter colour here, and just see how that looks there. Does it may not need the outline at the edge. It could just very well be we colour the veins. Let me just show you what I mean. And that could be enough without having to do an outline on there, on the outer leaf. See how that goes. We'll come back to that one in a moment. And here we go. Okay. And that's it, the center leaf, that center vein is kept intact as with a white line. And then the final leaf now like so. And there it is. Okay, and then finish that off with the old olive. Okay. We just need to restamp that to make the image sharp again. We've got the sticky mat, so we don't need any magnets. And I'll just reapply that early espresso back over the stamp. And look at that, nice and sharp, very nice. Now, okay, so what I've done is I've cut the vellum using this die from around the bend, and I've got this look. Now, the beauty of this die means you can have, or you can use, either this edge of scalloping, or you can use this edge of scalloping. The choice is yours. So this one has got edges coming down, and this one has got the scalloped going up. I'm going to, and if you did use this one, then you just need to cut it off the shape that you want. The reason I'm using this one though is because it has a corresponding stamp, and I can then go in and line this stamp up with the where I've cut the paper, and it will line up, I promise you. I've just got to find it. And then I'm going to put these lines and dots in here to finish it off. So I'll show you how that works. One other thing just to remember at this stage, because you put this back through the die and cutting press, you will have flattened down the emboss somewhat. And what you would need to do then, if it has come down too far, is just get the embossing folder and place this back into the embossing folder itself, and put it back into the die press, so that you've got so that you can lift up the, I've just got to find which one it is. Okay, it's one of these ones here, and put it back into the die press, and then you'll re-emboss it, and there it is there. Okay, if it's lost some of its emboss, so just put it back and run it through the die press. Okay, but we're going to go with this on our vanilla white cardstock, and I've just got to find the actual shape of. Now, as we know, card craft is all about an illusion, creating an illusion, a sense of reality. Call it what you want, but in my world, I'm trying to replicate a sense of reality that exists out there. And when I did the colouring on my magnolia the second time round, I added some gold emboss, but I don't like how much emboss is actually stuck there, because you can see it's just. Now, I don't want to waste everyone's time and redo the video, but I'm going to show you something that I have done. And I think, so I've taken the original coloured magnolia that I had, and I'm going to adhere that over the top of that, but I'm not going to just adhere it on there like that. I'm going to add a piece of this gorgeous gold thread open weaved gold thread, and I'm going to just apply that here like so, and then that will sit on top of that. And that gold has a nice correlation with the versa mark that we've got there, and the sentiment will sit somewhere like this. And so this is what our card is looking like, and I think that's really quite a nice rich finish that we've created there. If this was live, I'd put it to the vote, but as it's not, I'm going to keep it progressing and show you what the end result looks like. Now, to get this weave to sit down on the in its placement, this is what I need. I just need to get some glue dots, and glue dots are brilliant for this sort of thing. So just get a couple of those into place anywhere there, and I'll just lift that up because I want the gold thread to not go quite to the edge. There we go. So there's one, and there's another glue dot there. And actually, what I need to do is not stick it out there like that, because it may be seen if the sentiment doesn't cover it. So bring that in here like that. There we go, because that will all be hidden by this. And I think this is a more sympathetic colour to the vellum. So let's get this glued down. Now, for those people who like a less textured card, although this has got texture in it, but something that sits a little less 3D, I suppose, and more 2D, this is the perfect card for them. And it's a very easy card to make, as you've seen. It has a few techniques that may challenge beginners, but really not too many that it would mean you don't get to make this card. Okay, now, so we've got that in place. I'm going to bring it out of its nesting place there, and I need also a silicone gluing mat. Right, so you may remember in the previous video I said we need to glue vellum very carefully. So let's just apply some glue here, and I'll show you firsthand what we're trying to achieve. You don't want to leave pools of glue because that will show through on the vellum and you'll never get rid of it. So all I'm doing is applying a bit of glue to craft mat, and then I'm applying, rubbing a Q-tip or an earbud into that. Now it's all done. Here is our card. I've just put blue tack on the back of it and placed it ready to be photographed so I can put it up on Instagram. There were a couple of things that I had to do off camera just so that I could get those done in time. So what I've done is I've placed down the silver thread underneath the main element there, the magnolia. I've just cut out a sentiment and put that over so that it crosses over the vellum and also the bottom part of the card, just to create a stronger link, and added some sentiments, some butterflies. So all in all, there's a number of techniques there. There was the colouring of the embossed vellum. There was bringing the colours, blending those colours in, and also making sure that we glue it down so that it's not too wet. We then cut our border and stamped around our border, and we used our alcohol blends to create a blended coloured image there as well. So a number of techniques. But the important thing is I hope you enjoyed that, and I do hope you had you learned something in that. It was a challenging piece throughout parts of it, but most importantly, I hope to see you next time on Michael's Card Art, where we'll look at there was a piece that I had a special request for, and where is it? I'll get that for you right now, so that you know the next video is going to be on, oh yes, next video is on this card. And this card here, we're going to look at the embossing techniques on the various single stemmed flowers, and we'll bring that to the fore. So that's the next video that will come out. All right, well, I hope to see you next time on Michael's Card Art. So until then, take care and keep well. Bye.